All right, so what we'll do today is go over to HMI for the disc filter. Should be very similar to what's back there in the very back. But this is the main menu. You have your overview, disc filter, set points, equipment time, and alarm history. Basically, very similar to the old unit in the back. Touch these and go to any one you want to go to. Overview shows not ready. We're in HOA switches are off, so we're showing not ready. But you can touch here, go to the disc filter menu. Touch here, it takes you to the set points. Set points are very similar to back there in the back. Drum start delay is set at 2 seconds. Backwash duration is 17 seconds. And backwash interval automatic timer is 30 seconds. So basically, what this automatic timer is means that at any point and within 30 minutes after a backwash, whether it's based off level or the computer itself, it's going to do a backwash. So like I said, these should be the exact same thing as what's on the old unit. If you need to change any of this, if you realize you're starting to have a lot of solids, something changes and you want to up the backwash time to 21 seconds, you hit control, same thing as back there, super. Password is 4 ones. Now you should be able to change whatever you need to change. If you want to change the backwash to 21, type in 21, hit enter, turns to 21. If you don't have a lot of flow in the middle of the night and you want to extend the automatic timer to an hour or hour and a half, due to low flow reasons, this is how you do it. To log out, you just hit the log out menu or log out button. Equipment here, basically this is equipment time day previous. So this is yesterday's, this is today, this is total period. So since day one of startup, that's what equipment time continuous is. Same thing, here's your backwash pump, same exact thing. When you're logged in as super, it allows you, if you want to start it over. We recommend this, leaving it alone, keeping it so you know exactly what your count is. Alarm history, same thing. If you're having a communication alarm, or right now we do because obviously we're not tied into the other unit, but if you ever have any other alarms come up, you'll have a banner up here, and then you have a reset button down here on the bottom. The best thing to do is to push it in for count to 3, and it should reset it. You still may need to clear the banner that will be flashing on here. It logs you out. When you do hit reset, it logs everything out as you were not ready. So if we put it in this filter, so the overview screen will show you the last time that it ran, and obviously it hasn't run in over 30 minutes. So as soon as I put this in auto, it should take off and run. So while it's backwashing on the overview screen, it'll show this. This filter will show that it's running on the disc filter screen, and also show it's backwashing. What you will notice is that the timer starts over as well. And this should show you the level that's inside of the influent. What I'll do real quick is trigger an alarm. So if you do get an alarm, this is what you should see on the screen. Maybe not. I gotta put it in audio. Alright, so if you had a high level, that's what you would get. That's how you would get the alarm. When water drops off that probe, you still will have the high level. So really the best thing to do is come in, you can clear it here, count to 3, and still acknowledge it and reset it and hit close to remove the banner. So if you ever do get a backwash pump fail or hot backwash pump, this is the motor starter right here. It will be at trip. The way you reset it is you turn it in, turn it down to where to reset, and then turn it back up to turn it back on. This is also your VFD that controls your gearbox in the very back that turns the drum. Obviously this says ready. If you get a drum drive fault or an alarm that says drum drive failure, the best thing to do is do not power this off, but open these doors without turning this unit off, because there will be a code right there. You turn this whole control panel off, this will shut down and it'll clear the code. Here's your battery backup. This is similar to your battery backup at home. It's not designed to make this run during a power outage. It's designed to allow the computer system down here to shut down properly instead of just doing a hard shutdown, loss of power. This is sensitivity for your high level probe. It's set at 1. We recommend 1 or 0. This is your little delay timer for a low pressure switch that is on the backwash pipe. It's a blue box. We'll go over that in a little bit, but this is the timer right here set for 6 seconds. Here's your leads from your backwash pump and your gear drive. So battery backup. Here, these switches here, this is your main switch to send power to your PLC. These are all related to the PLC and liquid level relay relays. If I had to recommend buying anything for spare parts, it would be these fuses right here. Therefore, if you get a lightning storm and surge of power comes through, these should be the first ones to blow. So I would buy them, and then I would buy some of these right here just as spares if I had to have any. So basically, here's your serial model and your serial number. The 22121C is your model. The 11538 is your serial number. The year is obviously the year that this unit was built, 2021. You may need that if you're out of warranty and somebody asks you what model or serial number it is. But this is your influent pipe. Your sludge pipe is on top from your sludge tray. Your pipe right here on the bottom is your overflow. So if you get an overflow, this is where it will flow out. And the pipe on the left side is your effluent pipe. The bar up top that you see is basically, that is used, we'll go over this in a little bit, but it helps pull the spray headers up. Never pull the spray headers up by hand and never put them down by hand. You do it gently, otherwise you could break the weld on it. We'll go to the back. So that's the cover right there. It goes over the gearbox. It's similar to your old unit. Gearbox, you have 3 Allen screws. The one in the middle is your oil level. Change your oil every 3 years. This is obviously your low plug to drain it. You do have a plug on the very top up here that you can fill it if you need to, or when you do change your oil. The chain needs to be lubricated every month. Just do a standard chain drive. Even if you can find like an ATV chain lubricant, that's the same thing. You should have a 1/4 to 1/2 inch tension on it. If you ever need to adjust it, you loosen these 4 bolts underneath here, and this is how you move the gearbox forward or pull it back, but you need to make sure you do it evenly so it stays even and pulls the chain tightly, correct? On your backwash pump, here's your model. It's a CR15-5. Up here, this is your serial number, which is the 10,312. You have to take this apart for whatever reason and you fill this back up. If you need to take this apart, you have a valve right here You close the valve. That basically isolates if you have water on this side, keep from flooding yourself out. When you install a new one, make sure your arrow right here is going with the flow of direction. So that is basically points your flow. And when you start to fill this up, crack this loose. Before you turn this on, when you crack this loose, water will come in and push the air out to keep it from being airlocked. There's no zert fittings on this, so no maintenance needs to be done here other than listening to it and just making sure it sounds correctly. Your backwash pipe, your gauge up there, the gauge up there to the top, you should be doing either 8 bars or 115 psi. The blue box is basically a low pressure switch. If it doesn't at least reach 50 psi's in 5 seconds, it will shut down and you'll get a low level alarm. Basically just trying to keep from burning this pump up with no water. You do have a zert fitting back here. You need to grease every 2 weeks. You need to put your drum in the hand, have it rotating, and grease it. The shield will be here, but you can reach it with the shield here. You'll just come in between the motor and the shield to put your zert fitting on the grease. This is for your rear bearing. Like I said, every 2 weeks with the drum in hand while it's rotating. If you need to drain your disc filter, here's your valve to drain your disc filter. We recommend when you do put it back online, the best thing to do is to fill your effluent side up first with filtered water, or if you don't have that luxury, turn the drum in hand and barely crack the valve, influent valve open and let it go in slowly that way while the drum is rotating. You see the yellow sticker up here, it shows there's another zert fitting. We'll stand on the ladder and we'll go over it. So this sticker here is what I was referring to. It shows you have a zert fitting inside right here. These two zert fittings right here, you grease them the same time you grease the rear with the drum in hand. Same grease every 2 weeks while the drum is rotating. It does the wheels that you see on the front end of the disc filter. So basically what you have here, this is similar to the other unit. Your influent flows in, goes inside the drum, filters inside out of the panels, and flows out of your effluent box right here. What happens is as your filter panels clog up, the influent will start to rise. Once it should get 8 to 9 inches above your effluent weir, it should trigger a backwash. The box over there is your overflow. So if the drum doesn't turn or you lose power and we're not getting backwash, it will that's where it will overflow into that pipe. Your probe right here that you see, this is your high level probe. The bottom of it is set 1.5 inches below the overflow box over there to give you an alarm. And we try, it's 1.5 inches to at least try to give you a heads up if you're in a high flow situation. This cable here that goes into the steering wheel, that is a pressure transducer. That is what determines when the water level is 8 to 9 inches above your effluent weir. This pipe right here, you use the open end of it, put it over that. You pull up on this, that raises your spray headers, and you use this to lower it back down. Don't never drop it, because you can break these off the main spray header. If you rip the panels, you need to take one out, undo your bolts here on your cap. These are here, 2 of them here and there, they're T40s. Take the cap off, pull your panel out. The panel, you should have spare if you have new ones or whatever. It doesn't matter which way you put them in, they go in either way. This is pretty much concludes the training of the disc filter.